开始啦。Okay. So can you give us a short introduction about yourself and your firm?
Yes, so our firm actually started in 2006. So we have a couple of warehouse deal. Translink Capital we started officially is 2007, and idea of Translink Capital really came from our corporate venture background. So myself and my partner, we all had corporate venture experience prior to join starting Translink together. We all represent big Asian technology company in their Silicon Valley operation. So myself, I was with UMC Capital. UMC is the semiconductor foundry in Taiwan. They've been very, very successful in the early 80s, 90s, and I joined them in 2002. I worked there for 5 years, and the last 2 years when I was there, I was managing their both US and China practice. I know my partner Jay Yun, Korean, since the 2000. When I was with my first VC firm, and Jay was a Singapore-based VC firm called Vertex. So it's a small Asian VC community, and I know him. After I joined UMC Capital, he was recruited to start Samsung Venture US operation. And naturally, we look at a lot of deals together, especially in the component space. And we realized that our hit rate are very, very high. Actually, we invest 4 companies together, 3 went public and 1 got acquired. And we saw if we can leverage that hit rate and operate under one financial organization would be very, very interesting. So Jay, my partner, actually introduced me to the other co-founder of us, Toshi Otani, Japanese. Jay and Toshi, they went to Stanford Business School together. Toshi spent 10 years in Mitsubishi high-tech practice before he came here for school. And after Stanford, he ran Hikari Sushin venture operation here in the Valley. Hikari is the largest mobile retailer channel in Japan. That's before e-commerce is available. So think about Dixintong or Leyu in China. So if there's no e-commerce, they were the biggest one. So back in the 90s, Hikari is the largest mobile retail channel in Japan. And so 3 of us all had this common background. We know how to connect a startup company with a big Asian technology company, invest in them, help them to become successful. But we also realize that if our investment is tied to one company, then there's a lot of red tape associated with this investment, right? I mean, the entrepreneur may feel that, hey, if I take money from Samsung, I might not be able to work with LG, with Xiaomi, with Huawei, right? And but with our structure, we operate as an independent VC firm, and we can help them not only, say in this case, not only Samsung now, we can help them in Huawei, in Xiaomi, in Taiwan, in HTC, or in Sony in Japan, right? And we believe the combination of the effort will bring more value to the startup. At the same time, there's no corporate venture red tape associated with the investment. So entrepreneur will be more comfortable to deal with us directly. I started my venture career in '96, so it has been 20 years. And I'm very lucky that one of the few Chinese people has been in this industry for 20 years. I know my boss, the first VC firm's boss, when I was working on my family business. And when I ended I finished my transaction of my family business, he just started the operation in the Valley and invited me to join them.
Okay. Is there 1 or 2 events that set you on the path that you feel like, I can do this, I can do a venture capitalist?
Well, yes. So success. I mean, success always drives success, right? And so I'm pretty lucky that in my first VC firm, Investar, I was the first employee, first professional hire in the Valley. So I was involved most of their deal. I mean, directly or indirectly, because I'm the junior guy on the team, and you do all the work. And they also allow me to do the deal. They were very aggressive at the time, and the timing is also right. So there's there's a good timing for the semiconductor industry. So a few of the investment that I did was successful,
Okay.
and that make you believe that you
Right.
can do this deal, right?
Right.
So.
Right. So how many investment you have made so far?
I have not counted. I think
Okay.
in my 20
Roughly
years
number.
career,
Okay.
probably over 50.
Over 50.
Yeah.
Is there one or two very impressive or made very
Well,
fantastic?
the most impressive achievement, personally, I believe, is when I was with UMC Capital.
Okay.
I did 3 C investment.
Uh-huh.
So I was first investment in 3 company, and all 3 went public.
Oh, okay. Good.
So that's that. And back in 2002, 2004, 2005 time frame, it was not easy to invest in a semiconductor company.
Yeah.
But the track record back then was very, very, very good.
Mhm.
So all 3 went public, and I'm very proud of them. Yeah.
Okay. What's your or your team's investment strategy?
So here in TransLink, we look for the company. First of all, it need to be a interesting investment target, right?
Right.
Potentially to drive a large market cap and create a large value for everybody.
Right.
So that's first thing. But the most important thing for TransLink is that we look for the company that want to have a business relationship with Asia.
Okay.
And as you know, as a VC firm, I mean, you need to have your own strategy, right? I mean, if
Right.
you operate the same, then the question is that why the entrepreneur will come to you.
Right.
Our belief is that there are many VC firms can do a good job to bring a startup from 1, 2, 3, 4-person team to a big company. But as long as this company want to go to Asia, then there are not many choices they can go after.
Right.
I mean, there's a limited, maybe a Japan-based VC firm, there's a limited Korean-based VC firm, there's limited Chinese-based VC firm that can
Right.
help them. But there's no one firm that really can help them pan-Asia strategy.
Okay.
So when they come to us, that we can tell them, hey, what's your strategy in Japan, Korea, Taiwan, or China?
Okay.
And that's the value that we bring to the table. That's also the selection process that we apply in our due diligence process. On the other hand, I will also argue that any successful technology company will need to go to Asia.
Right.
Sooner or later, right? I mean, there's probably 100% of them need to go to Asia.
Yeah.
And it depends on the timing and the way they enter Asia.
Right. Okay. So how you identify a successful startup, or what's the attributes that make a yes? Make it
That's a very, very difficult question. It's more art than the science, as you know, right? Investment, in my opinion, investment is more art than science. The thing that you want to look for is what's the market trend.
Market trend.
I think that's the most important thing. What's the demand of the future? And when you say demand of the future, it's sometimes it's a guess, right? I mean, you don't know how to make the right decision. That you just need to talk to enough people in the industry that they all feel, say, for example, if there's an unfulfilled demand, then most of people will feel the pain. If there's a demand has been fulfilled, then there's not a lot of opportunity for a startup company.
Right.
The other thing is that, especially in this in the last 10 years, a lot of startup are leveraging the existing technology and create a new demand, create a new application. That's a little bit more difficult, because you don't know how big that the consumer will embrace.
Right.
But the simple question to ask is that, as a consumer, is that service bring any value to you, right?
Right.
And if you can answer that to yourself, I think there's something that interesting enough for you to
Right.
go after.
Right. How about the team? What characteristic they need to have to become a great entrepreneur?
Okay. Persistent is the most important thing. I mean, it's a long journey in the startup
Right.
life. There will be up and down for sure.
Right.
and the commitment. When you hit the low point, can you continue to move forward?
Right.
I think it's a very very important. The other thing that I'm looking for is also look for the people that is logical and has a business sense. As a VC, I don't think the technology or product you know those things better than entrepreneur. But on the other hand, I mean, when you have a conversation with them about the strategy, about the plan, about how to compete, about the market, it's more like you have a business conversation.
Right.
And if those conversation is more logical and make common business sense, then I will feel more comfortable about those entrepreneurs.
Right. Okay. So you have been 20 years in venture capital, huh?
Yes.
So what do you think about the environment now for the venture capital industry?
From the VC point of view, the competition actually is much fierce than in the past, and really came from this a new breed of angel investor, micro VC, early stage VC. But overall, it's good for the industry.
Right.
In the past, I mean, it's the A round. I mean, there's a certain kind of stereotype of a structure that you can apply to a company, right? But these days, because of the popularity of this angel investor, the seed money, seed investor, you can start a company with 2-3 people, and you can start running and get this angel investor to come in, support you all the way. You don't need to worry about the valuation. You set up your turn, and by the time you really do your A round, you already have a product, maybe acquire a lot of user.
Right.
So I would say that as an entrepreneur, it's much better time to start your own company. As a VC, of course, the competition is fierce. It's more fierce than in the past.
Right. So you pay many attention in Asia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as you know, the demand for innovation is huge in Asia, especially in China.
Yes.
Many Chinese entrepreneurs are trying to find overseas opportunity to invest or to cooperate with overseas startups. So what do you think about that trend? What do you think about is there opportunity between you and some Chinese entrepreneur or some Chinese enterprise to for way to cooperate?
The cross-border cooperation demand is always there. I mean, it's in the 80s. I think Japan was leading the way, right?
Right.
And you can think about at that time Japan and U.S. cooperation. Naturally, when the economic or the technology development in any country become to a certain level, I think they always want to have a next generation product, next generation technology. And Silicon Valley is always leading the technology innovation.
Right.
So in our own experience, I mean, we start to feel the demand from China about the new innovation, maybe starting in 2010.
Okay.
Prior to that, China, they are the market, domestic market is big enough, and you can win without applying the cutting edge technology.
Right.
But since 2010, we see a lot of demand. Mainly from the big company,
Right.
looking for the next generation technology that they can apply to help them to compete in their main market. At the same time, we also see some smaller startup company are looking for solution from outside of China.
Right.
But that has not been easy from the cooperation point of view, because if a startup work with a startup, it's not an easy proposition to win.
Right. Okay. So what else we have? Could you share a little bit about your focus? I mean,
So of course I continue looking at the semiconductor industry, advanced manufacturer, hardware product. But at the same time, I also pay a lot of attention between what happened in China and U.S. So as you know that in the past, Chinese startup, there's a term called C2C, copy to China.
Okay.
Right? I mean, you see what's going on in the valley, a successful business model, then you just copy it in China. So that trend will continue, but what happened is that in the last 10 years or last 12 years since the 2002, 2003, that's when Chinese VC industry start to grow. Majority of opportunity there were business innovation.
Right.
I mean, it's not really the technology enable you to create a new business. Right? I mean, from even Baidu, they copy at the time. It's copy Google's business model, right? You can think about Alibaba. There's a lot of similarity of their business with Amazon, and but now those low-hanging fruits, the business, the innovation, is kind of exhausted. It's not easy. I mean, if you want to start another O2O, mobile O2O business, it's very, very difficult. Now people start to look for the real technology innovation. And what we are paying attention in China these days is that whether they have a real technology innovation that can compete on the global level.
Right.
When you talk about technology innovation, it's a global level competition, right?
Right.
And that's what we are looking for.
Okay. So for the semiconductor, what do you see for 3 to 5 years in that industry?
Well, from the VC point of view, semiconductor industry is very, very mature.
Right.
So it's difficult to find a new startup opportunity. Very, very difficult. We are one of the few VC firms that are still looking for opportunity in that space.
Okay.
But as China has put the semiconductor as one of their national kind of strategic initiative.
Okay.
Because I heard a number that the value of a semiconductor imported to China is even larger than the value of oil imported to China. So think about the importance of that, and the Chinese government has spent a lot of effort and put a lot of money trying to build the industry. The consolidation has started maybe 5 years ago.
Okay.
So a lot of MMA, and with this new force from China, this MMA activity will continue.
Right.
The question right now is that I just don't know whether there's enough object there or enough topic out there that you can create the opportunity like Zhiguang acquires Spreadtron, Harmony Vision, ISSI, Montage.
Okay.
I mean, those opportunities is also become rare because not many companies left now.
Right. So, for a career, we always want to hear some positive story or good story. So, let's peeling back a little bit. So, when you made some investment in the past, is there some positive story happen during the process? Or yes.
Well, there are a lot of stories to share, but the first lesson I learned was that probably the first successful deal I was involved back in 97, 98 timeframe. A company called Sage that produced an LCD monitor controller.
Okay.
So when the time that the monitor moved from the CRT monitor to the LCD monitor, at that time, and I was talking to their customer, and the customer feedback was so-so.
Okay.
Was not great.
Okay.
And they explained why they are using it. Okay, and that's the most important customer at that time.
Right.
So at that time, when you get that feedback, and you still need to make your investment decision based on that feedback, right? The feedback is not overwhelming positive,
Right.
but how can you make the judgment and understand why the customer is saying that way?
Right.
I think it's the first lesson I learned, and we still make that investment decision, and it turned out the company had know what they are doing, and was able to create a business, went public in 2000 timeframe.
Right. Okay.
The other example really is when I was with TransLink now,
Okay.
back in maybe 2008 timeframe, and at that time it's after financial crisis, and not many people are willing to invest, not alone investing in a semiconductor company. So at that time we invest in the SSD controller IC company called SandForce. We let that run when the company just had the product out. Again, the customer feedback was also interesting because one of the customers we talked to in Taiwan, they say, well, it's the technology, the performance is very good, but the cost was too high. And that's a decision that you need to make, right? I mean, is the company competitive enough?
Right.
When the customer make that comment, right?
Right.
And so you really need to understand the background, the competition, the market, and why. Make your own decision why this target, this investment target, you want to make the investment, and why they could become successful.
Good. I think we covered almost the question we have already covered.
Sure.
Is there anything you want to add? Or
Well, I would just say that as a Chinese, especially a Chinese entrepreneur, this is a great time to in the technology venture business.
Right.
I think as I mentioned, the industry started maybe in 2002 timeframe, when the first technology bubble hit the market.
Right.
There's a market that big enough, and probably sooner or later will be biggest market in the world.
Right.
Right now it's the second biggest market, right?
Right.
And there are a lot of funding available. The government is also very
Right.
supportive of the entrepreneurship. So I would say that this is the best time for the entrepreneur to start in the technology venture business. I mean, I'm emphasizing on technology side because
Right.
there are a lot of business that you can start. It's a venture
Right.
business, but not what we focus on technology venture.
Right.
Okay.
Good. Okay.
We can stop here.
Okay. Anything you want to add?
No.
Okay. Okay. So
Okay.